Hi, I'm Destiny. Welcome back to Wishful Thinking. Today I have decided to not monitor myself, so I have no fucking idea how I sound in the mic. And if it sounds shitty, I apologize, but I wanted to try it out. It feels really weird without my headphones on because I usually just can hear myself and nothing else. But I can, it's a little weird, but I wanted to try it. I wanted to talk about something that is kind of political. And I know I'm not really personally a very political person, but I feel like as someone who lives in the United States, I feel like it's getting pretty bad. um, and it's getting to the point where I'm like, this is really, it's just getting worse by the day. And so I just wanted to kind of share some of my opinions because I can and I want to. And it's more so of me kind of ranting because this morning I was ranting to myself about just everything political wise, and I was like, this would make a really good episode. So here I am. The cost of living has gone up so much, and it's hard to get by unless you have multiple jobs. I only have one job, and that one job still doesn't cover basic utilities. And I feel as if even if it's a minimum wage job, I still feel like, in my opinion, that should cover basic needs like rent, bills, health insurance, groceries, things like that. I feel like that one job should be able to cover that at the very least, and it doesn't. I know that minimum wage, it depends on what state you're in because it's all different, but the federal minimum wage is $7.25, and I just feel as if there's something very wrong about that when the prices of things keep skyrocketing and nothing is being done to help us. I feel like if things are skyrocketing and the minimum wage is still as it is and nothing is being done about it, like, how are people supposed to live? Like, for example, why, for me, would I have to work 3 jobs in order to just get by? What kind of life is that? What kind of life is just working? Nobody wants to do that. So I don't think people should be working 3 jobs in order to just get their bills paid. As a young adult, I have to depend on my father personally to get by, which I am so grateful for, and I am thankful every day that he helps me out. Thankful for him. Love that man. At the same time, it pisses me off because I would like to be able to pay my own bills. And I see people from other countries saying how they only work 4 times a week and they're living life. Like, they have universal health care and all of their basic needs are getting met and so much more. And then I look at us and I look at everybody struggling to get by. And they're working 2, 3 jobs and they're still struggling to get by. Some of these people have kids and they get no help from the government and they're still not getting by. And then when you get help from the government, you have some people bashing people for getting help from the government because they can't get by. And they say, oh, you're just using the government. Like, you use food stamps? Wow, you're lazy. Get a job. They have several jobs and we still can't get by. Like, how are people not realizing that? I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm more of like in the middle because, in all honesty, politicians don't really fucking care about you. They just care about the money flowing to them. And then that's it. They don't really care. At the end of the day, they would throw you under the bus just to get a bag. It's true. And when people kind of idolize politicians in a almost like a weird godly way, there's something extremely wrong about that. I'm saying this as someone who's not part of any party. I'm saying this as someone who looks at that, and it's genuinely terrifying. That is genuinely terrifying. You should not be idolizing politicians. You should be looking at their behavior and what they're doing rather than what they're saying. And it's not even the Republican Party either. I see it in the Democratic Party as well, how you hype up these politicians who say they're going to do something and then they don't. Like, seeing is believing. You're seeing that's happening, but rather you're just tone deaf to that. Instead, you're just hyping it up because here's the thing. The thing about the party thing is that these parties and people who are part of parties, they're looking at it as like they want to win the argument rather than fixing the issue. It's all about winning. It's not about actually doing something good. They just want the feeling of winning, like to win. And there's something very wrong about that. Like, it doesn't sit right with me. Everyone's so focused on like parties rather than just the individual. I think there's something wrong with that. I do. I don't really think Donald Trump is a good fucking president. I don't think Joe Biden was either. But the fact that like you guys, some of you guys just idolize the person and you don't actually see what they're doing. It's very hypocritical. It's weird. Like, how are you not seeing it for what it is? You just hear what you want to hear without looking at the actual problems and the actual issues. Like, you'd rather just hear what your favorite politician has to say and you're like, that's right, that's right. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. None of them do. They really don't. I think some care to an extent, but at the end of the day, it's about greed. It's about greed. And it sucks because these young people, like me, for example, who would love to make ends meet with just one job, because that's what it should be. But it's not. I shouldn't have to be working several jobs just to make ends meet without any help from the federal government. Like, the hypocrisy is blatant, and it's so like, rah, you know what I mean? Ugh. And it's about looking at the other side and just bashing the other side. And if we're both agreeing that we should make America better, why aren't you just focusing on the actual issues rather than fighting against each other? Like, why? Like, aren't you tired? Like, you don't want to admit the other side is right about something because all you care about is winning the argument. That is so weird. Honestly, I don't see it getting any better from here on out. I don't. Because it's since COVID happened, everything has just been going downhill. And it doesn't really matter what fucking president it is, because nobody's doing anything about what's happening. No one is getting by. Barely getting by. People are homeless on the streets. Most Americans are struggling. We're struggling. How are we the richest country in the world and still we universal health care, we can't do that. Why? And then some people complain about, I don't want my tax dollars going to other people's health care. I think we have bigger fish to fry. I would like to talk about how there was a study done. I don't know which year it was, but it was like 1 year the military spends like, or every year or something like that, the military spends like billions of dollars on Viagra. what? Like, I just don't understand how we're supposedly supposed to be the greatest nation on earth and we label ourselves as that, but we can't do anything about helping the actual people that live here. Like, all they care about is money. At the end of the day, that's what it is. They don't care about poor people or people who actually need help or actually need the money. They don't care about that. I just think that something needs to be done. Either prices need to go down or the minimum wage needs to go up or something has to be done because no one's happy. No one's happy. One job, no matter if it's a fast food job or a corporate job, no matter what, it should at least make ends meet. At least. We should not be struggling or like surviving. That's not living. None of us are living. Everybody's tired. But like nobody's doing anything about it. These politicians aren't doing anything about it. It's weird. Like we're not focusing on the actual issues. We're really not. Maybe some, but like they're not the important things. Like they're not the real important things. It's weird. I don't understand. Like I don't get it. Like what is happening? Like seriously, what is happening? Am I just like that? Like, hello? Sorry. This is me ranting, but I would love to be able to just afford to live on my own. I would like to be able to move somewhere and just live my life with one job. That's it. And it's not about working hard or you're just not working hard enough. That is such bullshit. That is the most bullshit thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. Like, it should not be a controversial statement that everyone deserves a roof over their fucking heads. Like, that should not be a controversial statement, especially if they have a job. Why is a studio that doesn't have a fucking bathroom $1,200? It shouldn't be $1,000 to live in a one-bedroom apartment. Controversial statement, especially a studio. And then these landlords just raise prices and they're like, no pets, no smoking, no anything. You need like a $3,000 deposit and then you gotta pay $1,200 a month for this one bedroom, simple ass little fucking apartment. Are we good? Are we good? Like, why isn't any, like, what's up with that? And I get maybe it's because things are getting more expensive now, so the rent has to go up. But it all boils down to the fact that, like, no one's focusing on the real issue. Why? Ridiculous. I do have another controversial statement. Hold on. I did mention universal health care. I do agree that we should probably have universal health care. That, or I don't think health insurance should be as expensive as it is. Like, why is a simple checkup visit to the doctors without insurance, like, at least over $500? It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know, something about it, it doesn't make any sense to me. I think everyone deserves health care. Everyone deserves health care. Is that, like, so controversial? Like, why? Everyone deserves health care. And, like, if we're not paying people enough to be able to afford to go to the fucking doctors, then, like, I don't know. I think everything's really chaotic. And a lot of things are going down right now. And just, it's ridiculous. Like, the whole government is just a joke. It's a joke. Like, what are we doing? Like, when did this become, like, a fucking game instead of, like, actually helping people? And it's weird. Like, something is wrong. Like, why are we telling people we're the greatest nation when clearly we're not if the people are struggling? We're clearly not the greatest nation. Maybe once upon a time, maybe we were. But it all depends on who you are, right? So it doesn't, like, I get, like, trying to make everybody happy is impossible. But I think helping the people who actually need help, that's, I think, the first step at least. But we're not doing that. It's just all about fighting and who can win an argument. And it's, I think it's a, yeah, I think something needs to be done. Because it's getting a little borderline scary. I'm not, again, I'm not in any party. So I think there's bad in both fucking sides for sure. I think the Democratic Party, I think both parties do this actually, where they just talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. You know what I mean? Like, that's what both of the parties do. And it's not about actually helping anything, it's just about winning. Even if it does help people, it doesn't really fucking matter. It's just about winning. And it's like winning, but at the expense of the people who live here. And like we're low key suffering. So that's cool. That's cool. That's great. That's kind of my opinion. I know it's very controversial, but I feel as if, I don't know, it's been like on my mind recently. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. If you do agree with me, that's fine. I don't really care. I'm not looking to debate anyone, but I think collectively, I think we can all agree that something needs to be done. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So thank you so much for listening. If you want, you can follow me at Destiny Dufo, Dufault, on Instagram, or you can follow this podcast at Wishful Thinking Podcast, also on Instagram. Thank you again so much for listening, and I hope you tune into the next one. All right, bye bye.